Hey guys, all right, this week, basically what I'm going to be talking about or showing you guys this week is I was fixing the back brakes on my Jeep, 2016 Jeep Wrangler. I changed the brakes and also the rotors. So it kind of shows you how easy it is. Basically, these are things that anybody could pretty much do as long as you have the right tools. You're pretty much good. You'll see how easy it is. I'm showing you how quick it's done. So hopefully you sit back and enjoy it. Leave a comment if you like. Alright guys, I took these studs off. About to take off the tire. I had to jack up the car with some, what is this, 2x4s. Because the 4-inch lift kit, my jack doesn't pick it all the way up. And I actually have a horse stand underneath holding it so it doesn't fall back. So I got it barely off the ground just so I don't have to really worry about it. So it just slides off. Because it's a heavy tire, so I don't want to be working extra. So just hope that this doesn't fall on me. See, one hand just rolls it right off, so it makes it a little bit easier. So let's just hope. So what I'm gonna do is, you come over here. There's these little, I don't know if you can see them, but there's these little things that hold this rotor in. I have to take those off. Take this, the caliper off with the housing so I can get the rotor off. So I can replace the rotor, put brand new brakes on, and then go from there. So I'm gonna be popping in and out of stuff just because of the whole fact, or if not, fast forwarding through a lot. So this is good to actually just peel off. You try to peel them. So by peeling them, makes it just that much easier so you don't have to try to go buy another set. And then after you peel them, and they just come right off. And all you gotta do is just pound them back down and then they're ready to go for the next time. So I gotta do that to each and every one of these. So instead of having you guys watch through this whole thing, well, maybe it might go pretty fast. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. But you might see me fast forward through this a couple of times just so we can try to get through that. It's my everyday life, you know what I'm saying? Got people up in the alleys, up in front. So, never know what I'm doing here. So after these are out, got one more. And then after this, we can start on the caliper. Then once that caliper is done, everything can start coming on out. Now let's start on this caliper right there. I got a couple of bolts right here that we're gonna take off. Now if you see this little bolt right here, it's gonna turn, so we're gonna have to hold that to get the rest of it. So we're gonna get this bottom bolt too loose. And then what I usually do is keep my feet away from underneath the car, just in case if this falls. I got a jack here, the horse stand, but you always wanna be safe. If it falls on you, it falls. All you gotta do is replace pieces, no limbs. If I keep my feet under there and it falls, it's gonna chop my leg off. So what I'm gonna do is go from the back end over here. You can probably go over here if you see it. I'm gonna hold this bolt here. As I hold that bolt in place, try to just take off this piece right here. See, that's the only problem, it turns, so you gotta kind of really hold it really good. There you go, see that? Once you're holding it, it starts to come right off. And then the bolt just pops off. Do the same thing to the top one. You want to try to hold it as best as you can. And then just pops. See that? So once you're holding them, they're good. That comes off. This is top, bottom. I like to always keep them on the same top, bottom. And then you're gonna try to pry off this caliper. Notice I keep my feet still away. This is still kind of close. I want to back up a little bit just in case. But just kind of wiggle it out. Look at all that stuff that just fell off of there. Put this up here where this cord doesn't get tangled. This is part of the brakes. These are the old pads. They're at 1%, which is super, super low. And I was already hearing that. You can see there's basically nothing there, which when it gets this low, starts to actually groove into the rotor. So instead of cutting it, I just got some brand new rotors. Because I don't like to do stuff half-assed. I like to do stuff right. So, and then you got these little pieces here. You want to take these off. Just as a whole fact, I always like buying brand new hardware kits. Because as you can see, rust will get to some of these. Then you got the ones in the back. Look at that, see that? They rust on, they stay on. Sometimes they do not want to come off. So boom, all these are done. Throw that off to the side. Now I gotta take this big bad boy off, which I need another bolt. Which I'm gonna have to try to get in a little bit, but always careful. Always want to make sure you still stay away, so if the car falls, it doesn't hurt your head. A little more leverage. That bolt's coming off. Take the next one off. This is the bottom. I got gloves on because I don't want to give my Jeep any coronavirus. I really like my Jeep, so got to protect my Jeep too, you know. She don't want to get corona. If you notice, this doesn't really come off right away. It's just because of the inner brake. These are where your emergency brake is sitting. So what you do is you take light taps. Don't beat it. And you check it. A couple more taps. Almost. Don't know why that's on there. You can take a look inside here. It's pretty dusty. Okay. So I like to clean the inside just to get some of the dust and all that stuff out. As you can see this right here, look at this. See that brown stuff, see all that? You just take some regular brake cleaner. See, it's actually yellow. See that? So what you want to do is you want to clean all this stuff in here. Look at all, you saw that blue one? This was really, if you saw that from the video, that was really good. Look at that. Look how clean that comes out. So you want to make sure all these pieces are nice and clean since you're putting in brand new parts. All right. You don't have to really worry about this. Don't worry about this. Don't try to hit that. Just try to get everything else so you'll be good. All right. And once that's done, you're gonna grab the new rotor. Here goes a new one. And then I also still like to clean the outside just in case, and the inside. Any dirt that came from the factory with it. And then place that in. And clean the outside here a little more. You can insert this little ring if you want. It doesn't really do anything, it just sits there. I mean, doesn't really do much. Then these 4 that I talked about before, what you want to do is you want to take these 4, just lightly pound them back down. Then once they're lightly pounded, you just push them right back in. See that? So they're really hard to come forward so this doesn't pop out.
What's up, boy?
What up, Papa? Ahí, tú sabes. I like to make sure that they're all in pretty good. As far as I can get them. And then that's good. Next step is you're just reversing everything again, putting your your caliper housing on, then putting your caliper on. But before I go ahead and do that, well, I'm gonna show you another thing before you go ahead and put the brake pads on. You're gonna put these brake housing back on, always making sure you keep your feet away from the vehicle still. This is the bottom one. Here's this top one. Now what I didn't tell you, at the dealer, they told me they can do it for me. It was gonna cost me over $500, $500 to $600 to get this done. And the dealers usually put just like whatever brand of their cheap brand of brakes and rotors on. And then most of the time they just cut your rotors, so you have a thin rotor, not as good as it would have been, brand new, how thick it is. So I went ahead, picked up some of these pieces, and I got all this for about 200 bucks. This is, I'm not sure if it's super necessary, but I like to make sure I torque these back to where they're supposed to be at. These should have been around 50. So just give it a quick torque. Just have to double check it. Yep. Yep. So that's good. Now, your brake. Before you put the brake pads on, if you notice, this is narrow. It's not gonna fit the brake pad on both sides and go in there. Just won't fit. So I'm gonna show you what I usually do before I put that in. So I take one of the brake pads. All right. These right here are gonna go into the clips. I'm gonna show you that bit. So if you see, if I put this in there, they can't even fit because how closed it is. So it's not gonna work. So what I do is I take one of the brake pads, put that back. This right here, slide that in, and all you gotta do is twist. And what this does is pushes, if you watch real good, it starts to open that piece. Now if this is hard to push back, that means this is freezing up and you need another brake, you need another caliper. But as you can see, I'm just twisting and it's going right back, nice and smooth, no problems. I should say this is not like a tutorial on how to change your brakes. This is just me doing what I have to do to make sure I don't spend that extra money and save that money, you know? So I go ahead and do my own work, save my money so I can take my kids, my family to nice vacations. So now look how much that is opened. It's opened up so much more now. So now you gotta take these little clips and put them in the right way. They have a little lip that's gonna go on these lips. If you don't put them in the right way, they won't slip in. See, that one slipped in. This one's gonna go on the top. Matter of fact, let me try this one. This is incorrect. This is the incorrect way. So if I put this in and I try squeezing it in, this was gonna happen. See, it's gonna fall out. Now, if I get the right one, which this one should be the right one, and I put it in, see that? Snaps right in. So if you put them in the wrong way and it's popping out, don't force it. You're doing something wrong. So you always gotta look at the lips of where they're at. It's a little harder because I don't like to be underneath the car. With the back ends, you know, the front I can see, I can stay away. Car drops, I'm still safe. Now this little piece right here, that little piece, that's what you hear on cars squeaking on this. When you hear that loud pitch when it's hitting the brakes, basically it's letting you know, hey, change my brakes. And if you ignore it, you're gonna rip up your brakes and everything. And if people tick this off, that's when you start damaging everything else. So then you just gotta go slipping right in here. Oh, sorry. I had them backwards. You want to go slipping right in there. Once they slip in, you just slide in the top one, and there's always one piece that wants to mess with you. I might cut that piece. Slides in. After those slide in, you want to take your caliper, bring it down, push this in back. See that? You want to make sure you got the top one. That's what I do. It's unnecessary. I don't believe it is, but I like to keep the bolts exactly where they go. And then for these, I like to still keep them as close as where they're supposed to be at. Meaning, when I go ahead and do them, it's really not necessary. But I don't know. I think these are at 26. So keep them at 26, and it's just easier next time when you gotta take them off if you leave them in the right torquing set. So it's not something that's gonna go ahead and seize up or anyway, you know. Now basically all I'm gonna do is put the tire back on, pull it down, and do the same thing to the other side. So that's basically one of my days today. So hopefully you guys keep on tuning in, because I got a couple of more stuff that I'll be doing throughout the day. Maybe one day clean up this garage. You'll be seeing me take these off pretty soon. I'm gonna get them painted, get them all painted up, so you go through that process of me fixing up a lot of this. I might build a chicken coop for my chickens. So don't forget, you know, make sure you like this, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this is just me, regular day. All right, see you guys, have a great day.